Hello everyone and welcome back to the Rex Picker's Cave. Today I'll be showing what sold on eBay and Mercari and also a summary of WhatNot from January 1 through 15. As always, I ask that if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by hitting that subscribe button below. Before I get started with the sales, I would like to discuss a hot topic on YouTube that's going on right now, and that is about security for resellers and selling on any that are selling on any platform. I will also be discussing an issue that Kevin at Commonwealth Picker is experiencing right now, but first let's cover some sales that I had on eBay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is cast iron baking press with wood handle. Is a grill pressing for steak cooking, burgers, ham barbecue, and buyer paid $5 for the item, all in at $12.93, and that went to Nicholsville, Kentucky. The next item I sold was a Camel Crown hiking shoes for men, trail running, backpacking walking shoes, size 8. And these sold for $10. Buyer was all in at $21.21. And these went to San Benito, Texas. I seem to have a lot of sales to Texas here this last month. The next item we're going to have is older vintage 15 glass crystal ball ornaments and 9 sparkly plastic ornaments. These items sold for $8. Buyer was all in at $15.32, and that went to Itasca, Texas. Next item is an older vintage poly pocket carry case with table and magnet standing figure inside. This item sold for $4.75. Buyer was all in at $11.86, and this went to Middletown, New York. Next item was a lot of 15 assorted miniature dolls. They were anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 inches tall. These sold for $1.99. Buyer was all in at $9.09, and they went to Brainerd, Minnesota. Then we had a Valentine's Day Love doorknob hanging plush. It's made by Russ. This item was sold for $12. Buyer was all in at $17.18, and that went to Medea, Pennsylvania. Next item we had was a lot of 23 assorted promotional can koozies. You know, the koozies that you wrap around your cans to try to keep your drinks cool. And this lot of 23 sold for $14.99. Buyers all in at $22.48, and those went to Garner, North Carolina. Then the next thing we had was a vintage 1964 Monopoly board game. This was in the red box, complete with, and it had extra money. Buyer paid $12, all in at $24.85, and that went to Evansville, Indiana. Then we had a vintage Cozy Kitty lint brush from the 1970s. It's a cat in a blue basket. It's made by Avon. The buyer paid $11, all in at $18.38, and that went to New Kearney, Texas. And the next item is an item we've had for a long time, probably at least 3 or 4 years, and it is a vintage 15-inch fabric bendable doll of Audrey Hepburn. This doll sold for $8. Buyer was all in at $14.95, and that went to Leawood, Kansas. Then we had a lot of 7 Ryan's World figures with 2 swords, 2 fries, and 1 transmitter. These sold for $8. Buyer was all in at $15.45, and that went to Las Vegas, Nevada. Next item I got is 2 Hello Kitty Pez dispensers. I'd like to do a shout out to Hieroglyphics out in Washington State. That's who I got these from. I sold them for $5. Buyer was all in at $9.54, and they went to Smithville, Texas. And the next item is a miniature Disney's Mini PVC kitchen set. It has a fridge, sink, stove, and utensils. Buyer paid $14, all in $21.43, and that went to Washington, D.C. And the last item I want to discuss right now is Harry Potter scrapbooking craft stickers. 2 sheets in the package. They sold for $2.25. Buyers all in at $3.50, and that went to Naperville, Illinois. Okay, with the first topic I want to discuss is about everyone talking about how eBay is so hard to get in touch with. I agree, it was much better in the past. However, you need to learn how to work the system. Number 1, try and contact them through the help page or the eBay customer service link. It will have several topics for you to choose from. However, if you are actually wanting to be in contact with a live person, I just scroll down to the bottom, and when it asks if you need more help, click on it, and it will usually take you to an automated assistant. And then in the response box I write, I would like to speak to a live agent. This will work about 75% of the time. But if you have no success there, then number 2, call eBay at their number. It's 1-866-540-3229. Then when the automated system comes on, you can say what your problem is, and 50% of the time it will connect you with someone. The other 50% of the time, I usually have to call back. And when I get the automated system again, I just say, I have a complaint. And that works most of the time. Now let's cover some more eBay sales before going on to the next topic. Alright, so next we have a Kit 1934 An American Girl set of 3 paperback books. It's a box set collection. These sold for $8, and buyers all in at $13.56, and those went to Smithville, Mississippi. Then we had an older vintage Christmas holiday mice, sugar, and creamer set. These sold for $9. Buyers all in at $16.12, and that went to Brandon, Mississippi. Then we had a set of 2 vintage porcelain ballerina 7-inch round wall plaques. They were 3D with blue gemstones. These sold for $8. Buyers all in at $15.48, and those went to San Bernardino, California. Then we had vintage 4-inch boy and girl angel Christmas candle huggers. They were bisque or porcelain, and these sold for $15. Buyers all in at $21.08, and those went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then we had a Dreamsicles sitting white cat, cute as a button, $11.99. Buyers all in at $19.05, and that went to Noblesville, Indiana. And the next item we have, it's actually 2 items going to the same person, but it was 2 lots of 20 older Harlequin Blaze exotic romance books. So they got 40 books total. For each lot, they are in at $12 each, and then all in at $21.85 each, and those went to Bellevue, Nebraska. Then we had a vintage 1991 Inesco cozy teacup with mice playing piano, singing Christmas ornament. This item sold for $13. Buyer was all in at $20.13, and that went to New Albany, Indiana. Then we had a vintage advertising glass ashtray, Mousie's Bar, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's 3 3/4 inches square. Sold it for $18. Buyers all in at $26.12, and that went to Little Falls, Minnesota. Then we had a vintage solid brass shark figurine that uses paperweight, 7 inches long. Buyer paid $12, all in at $21.88, and that went to Bend, Oregon. And then we had a vintage Futaba Act 2 channel FPT2NBL radio controlled transmitter for parts repair. This is for RC cars. And this sold for $30. Buyers all in at $39.99. And that went to Orange Park, Florida. Then we had lot of 2 plastic mold popcorn with cranberries garland, tree decor, 8.5 inches, 8 feet 5 inches each, total of 17 feet total. Sold for $9.50. Buyers all in at $16.71, and that went to Sholo, Arizona. And then we had a steel trucker hat, black with orange embroidered lettering, adjustable. Sold for $9. Buyers all in at $12.84, and that went to Hayes, North Carolina. Okay, let's take a break from the sales, and now the next topic is about eBay customer service and the Postal Service. I hear people complaining that eBay and the Postal Service will not do anything to help. I have had 99% success when talking with eBay customer service. I take my time and explain the situation to them. I always have my item number ready so that they can get to the listing quickly. I usually let them know what I have already done and trying to resolve the issue. And most of the time, they can look at the listing and they can see where I've tried to make contact or see the responses that I have received from the buyer. As far as Postal Service goes, number one, go to USPS.com. On the home page, go to the help in the upper right hand corner. Then click on the topic you need, and you will be prompted as to what to do filling out forms. Now, I have a USPS.com account, which makes it easier to get through the process, but you do not need to have an account to use the system. I have always had quick callbacks and updates on my issues, and most of the time it has worked out in my favor. Number two, damaged packages or items not received should not be something to worry about. Remember that each package going through the post office has $1,000 of insurance coverage, and eBay envelopes has a $20 insurance coverage. You also have the eBay buyer protection plan. Even though it says buyer protection, it is also seller protection. And as a last note, eBay does not always favor the buyer. I have had success as a seller on 95% of my cases. The only ones that people think about are the ones that did not go their way. Okay, now let's finish up the rest of my eBay sales before going to covering the next topic. So to finish up, I had vintage, mid-century modern ceramic pottery, large ashtray. It was glazed and sparkled. This item sold for $13.42, all in at $24.69, and that went to Dover, Pennsylvania. And I got feedback from him saying that is the most beautiful ashtray he had ever seen. Alright, next item is a vintage Victorian ladies white lace parasol with bamboo handle and spindles. Alright, this sold for $45 and was all in at $59.78, and that went to Richardson, Texas. And the next item was a Chick-fil-A cow marching band, March to More Chicken, stuffed plush animal from 2019. It sold for $9. Buyers all in at $12.84, and that went to Destin, Florida. Then we had a Rolling Stones magazine, Satisfaction, from November 24th, 1983. This item sold for $8. Buyers all in at $12.81, and that went to Durham, North Carolina. And I have another Mary Moo Moo, Hoofy Moo Year, New Year's Millennium cow figurine. This item sold for $12. Buyers all in at $19.45, and that went to Elkhart, Texas. Then I had a vintage iron double frogs with patina on lily pad, tapered candle holder, 11 inches tall. Sold for $20. Buyers all in at $31.96, and that went to New Paltz, New York. Then we had a vintage Bearcat alert weather warning radio, model BC-W37984. This sold for partial repair. Sold it for $10. Buyers all in at $22.24, and that went to Peoria, Arizona. And the last thing I sold on eBay was a lot of 3 vintage Morton Salt Umbrella Girl collectible coffee mugs, celebrating 150 years of Morton Salt. And I sold these for $9. Buyers all in at $17.05, and those went to New Orleans, Louisiana. So as you can see, I had a pretty good half a month on eBay. And now, before I get into my Mercari sales, I have another safety issue to discuss. And that is what to do if you receive a suspicious package and it may be leaking something. Now, Commonwealth Flipper has a situation right now. He has a case going where the person actually... the item that was purchased was a Funko, and it was shipped to the buyer. However, the buyer filed for a return request, saying it was not the correct item. But when Kevin went and looked at the tracking said that the item hadn't even arrived yet, and that it was still in shipment. So then he received a package, and the person also has left several derogatory remarks on his site, and he has turned that over to eBay and has filed reported this person. Now, the problem with reporting a person on eBay is they're not going to contact you to let you know what the results are, which I don't agree with. If the person is harassing me and all that, I want to know what the decision was. And what I've also expressed to Kevin at Commonwealth is that I would also like to know who this person is. All I know is they are in Chicago, Illinois, and that they have done this to other people, 3 that Kevin knows of, and possibly 2 more, where they say the item was not what they received, what they ordered, and they ship back something else, and usually it's filthy or it's torn up or something, and eBay has refunded them their money. And in this case, he has already gotten back a package, which the tracking was issued on that package 2 days before the package was received. So the item that they were returning is not the item that he sent them, and he hasn't opened it yet because there's issues with it. It is leaking a liquid, and that's one of the things I want to talk about now. And I advised him to contact the post office and have the post office open the package. Get a postal inspector or someone from the post office to open the package and see what is inside, because if in fact there is liquid in there and it is leaking, that is a federal offense, and not only could the post office file charges against this person on the federal level for that, but they could also charge him with mail fraud. So if you receive a package like this, and it may be leaking something, you receive a a suspicious package. Let's say a suspicious package, and you're not sure what it is, and you're sure, and you don't want to handle it. First thing I would do is do not take it in my house or vehicle. I would not touch it unless I absolutely had to. But do not take it into your house, or do not put it in your vehicle. I would immediately contact the Postal Service, and they may have an investigator available to respond to your location. And let them know what's going on, and they may have somebody come back by and pick it up and bring it back to the post office. But if Postal Service cannot immediately help you, then dial 911 and contact your local emergency services to respond. I would rather be safe than to be sorry. I would rather them roll two or three fire trucks out there, a police car, a bomb squad or whatever to take a look at it and make sure that it's not something that's going to hurt or harm someone. So, like I said, I would rather be safe than be sorry. So remember, do not take package in vehicle or residence. Do not handle package unless you have no other choice, and keep everyone away. So that's my gist on that. And if you go on Commonwealth's latest video from yesterday, you can see all the comments on there. My responses have gotten more. My response has gotten more responses than any other message that was on there. And my phone was dinging all night long last night. People responding to what I'd put in. All right, so now we're going to cover my Mercari sales. And the first item we have, it was a bundle item. It was a audiobooks. One is Into the Fire, and the other one was Shadow Dance. These two audiobooks sold for $16, and they went to Olympia, Washington. The next item I had was Disney's Minnie Mouse plush, 25 inches tall, pink polka dot dress, large size, $14 buyer all in, and that went to Anacott, Virginia. Then we had vintage, the Master Key pitch pipe. It's an MK-1 F to F scale with box. Sold it for $13, and that went to Surprise, Arizona. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Then we had a Snow Bear Baby doll, 16 inches tall, white, fluffy, soft plush rubber face doll. This sold for $18 and went to Mechanicsville, Virginia. And then I had a Wilton and Other lot of 2 cookie cutter packs. These are Halloween Rip and Dinosaurs. These sold for $9 and they went to Philpott, Kentucky. Then I had a vintage pair of brass, metal, and wood votive candle holders. 11.5 inches tall with eagle snuffers. And these sold for $12. And they went to Fuquay, Verena, North Carolina. And the last item I sold on Mercari this month is a 7-inch Anisco cat trying to get into a birdhouse Donna Little figure. And this item sold for $10 and went to Shirley, New York. And now to finish up with my sales, I have my WhatNot sales. I do not have pictures of these items, but I will run through them and let you know what I did sell. I sold a pair of Wrangler jeans, 40 by 30, and a pair of St. John's Bay jeans, 40 by 30. These sold $2 each, went to Barnesville, Ohio. Then I had a Keeping It Real fishing t-shirt, sold for $2. I went to Sacramento, California. Then I had a keepsake ornament, Eeyore, sold for $4. A keepsake ornament, Roo and Kanga, sold for $2. A keepsake ornament, Pooh and Piglet, sold for $3. And then a vintage 1986 Bisque Angel Heavenly Blessings Nativity Collection from Avon, sold for $3. Again, an Avon collection item, 1986 Melchior Magi Wise Men Heavenly Blessings for $2. And the last of that series was a Bisque Camel. That also sold for $2. All that went to Kearns, Utah. Kearns, Utah. And then I had a sale in actually on my marketplace and whatnot, and it was the Alien Quadrilogy, a DVD set, 2003. It's a 9-disc box set, Alien Resurrection. Sold for $5.10, and that went to Ava, Missouri. Then, my last customer I had on WhatNot bought a top paw fleece lined pink puffer dog vest jacket, size medium, for $10. Bought 2 top paw hoodies, $5 each. Bought a top paw camp dress, dog camp dress, for $5. And then she bought 2 Arcadia Trail dog windbreaker jackets. These came with the disposable bags in them with a dispenser. And these were sold for $10 each. And all those went to Fort Myers, Florida. Fort Myers, Florida. So as you can see, I've had a pretty good month so far in January. And that's only covers half of the month on WhatNot and half the month on eBay. It covers the whole month so far on Mercari. I haven't had that many sales on Mercari. And just want to remind everybody out there that if you got problems with eBay, call them, talk to them. They will talk to you. And I've talked to them several times, and I I've had success. Like I said, most of my cases that I have filed on, I have gotten a response back, and it's always been positive. And if you've got a problem with the post office, you don't have to go down. You don't have to call and talk to the postmaster general. You can go down to the post office and talk to your local postmaster. They're always willing to help out. You can ask to speak to a postal inspector. Have one contact you. You can always get things worked out. Just remember, don't get mad, don't get angry. Just take your time, document everything, and follow a proper procedure. And most of the time, like me, your claims will work out in your favor. Now, like I say, they don't always work out in my favor. And the ones that people always remember are the ones that didn't work out in your favor. So, without further ado, I'm going to bid you a fond farewell. And also, remember to subscribe to my channel. And also, watch for my next We the People video, which will be coming out shortly. So, from my family to yours, have a good year. And God bless America.